what's going on, everybody on YouTube? EXO coming at you here, feeling extra motivated. I hope you guys are staying safe. Let's keep the ball rolling with another fun video doing an extreme battery swap inside Elise's car. We just installed her brand new bass setup on YouTube, 3,000 watts. It sounds really good, but the voltage could use a little bit of help. So in this video, we're gonna see if we can solve that voltage drop just by adding a lithium battery. Ordinarily, I'd say alternator should always come first, but let's face it, so many people buy their batteries first. So with overkill in mind on the lithium, we're just gonna completely skip the alternator for the sake of this video. There's already a fresh 300 lined up for this Toyota, so to keep the test as brutal and consumer-like as possible, we're gonna save this install for after this test. So until then, let's see if a tiny little 14-pound battery can solve these big problems for us. And here's the star of the show, the Cyber 6K from Limitless Lithium. Let's bust this bad boy right out and show you guys what she's working with. Oh buddy, there's the pink bubble wrap that I love to see. Pretty cool story about these new Cyber series. Travis from JY, our good friend for years now, actually just joined forces with Limitless last year. And ever since then, oh my God, things have gotten a little crazier. Look at this freaking construction. All metal housing, which I can tell is doubling as a heatsink because the whole thing's made out of aluminum. She's even finned out like a PC gamer on the sides. This is one cool design, pun fully intended. And believe it or not, this one little battery can support up to 7,000 watts with a big enough alternator behind it. All that juice and it weighs just 14 pounds. This little guy right here doing all that, that's nuts. Loaded up with 8mm hardware, aluminum terminals, and 4 19 amp hour LFP cells inside. Similar to the green beans from 2016 and the JY blacks from 2018, this type of battery is lithium iron phosphate. Its 4-cell layout works great for car audio because the resistance stays nice and low and the voltage stays closest to factory vehicles. Fewer cells also means it'll charge faster, but you don't want to go past 14.8. Anything over 3.7 volts per cell really isn't good long term. It reduces life and won't magically deliver more just because you want to chuck 15.5 volts to it. Now, when dealing with LFP, there's a few things to remember to make sure you stay a happy camper. First off, as it sits right now, this battery isn't even ready to be installed. Why? Why is it like this? Well, it's not fully charged. By law, they can't ship them that way. 30% charge is how they arrive for safety, and what's the safest way to charge a battery? A battery charger. So that's the very first thing that we'll do, charge the battery with a battery charger before introducing it to the car's alternator. Second thing to remember is that LFP loves being nice and toasty warm. Much like warming up your car's engine, the cells perform their best between 90 and 110 degrees. So if you live in colder areas, give yourself some warm-up time to get full performance. And lastly, these types of batteries are not designed to be mounted under your hood. Yes, they like it warm, but not that warm. So take that into consideration when mounting it in a place that may get hotter than you think. After all, if you're spending big bucks, you might as well protect it, right? Lithium batteries definitely have a firm footing for car audio applications, and the price to performance ratio is still comparable to other heavier choices that don't have as small of a footprint as this for people with sedans and smaller cars. So there is a rhyme and a reason to everything. So let's stop jabbing and get to installing our nice lightweight lithium, holy crap, Limitless Lithium. Oh man, that was bad. Let's go ahead and crank up the cell phone, and Elise will have you turn up the volume. We'll do a quick little voltage test back here and see what we're working with voltage and amperage. as you can see, we were dipping in. I saw 11.7 volts right there, so that's not the most healthy thing for an electrical system, so we want to kind of keep that a little bit higher. And here's the battery that we're yanking out today. A good old excess power D3400. Now, it did just the trick for like 6 years, but it's time to say goodbye. Take out the positive and negative wires going to our amp and yank out our positive fuse block, which is stuck to the battery with some double-sided tape. You may think that sounds weird, but it does just the trick. And get this heavy AGM out of here. Oh my gosh. And speaking of AGM, we got a ton of comments in our installation video of this battery having it sideways. A lot of people were adamant, gung-ho, and all over me saying that it was wrong. So if you go quickly here to the Excess Power website though, one of the most frequently asked questions is that. So just humor me real quick, and it says, there is no liquid acid in AGM batteries. All of the acid is absorbed into the glass matting. So you can mount it in any position, and it can be shipped in any position. So that's the advantage of having a battery like this. You can have it sideways. And yes, I just covered my wires with a spare glove. There she is. I think it may just work out perfectly too with the profile on that plywood platform. So negative on the bottom to match up with what we already have, and look at that low pro goodness. Cyber 6K, that'll look perfect. The positive is like it was meant to be, and the negative is right here, ready to go, plopping right onto our 8mm terminals. I'm thinking something with a spare piece of wood to give it really a good amount of strength. You can just imagine getting a nice little bracket on the bottom, holding it in, and then having an extension on the top. It can't, come back and forth or go side to side. Here we are at the secret spot, a beautiful way to end a beautiful day. We've got LC in the hot seat, so let's go ahead and reset our track here. We've got some Say Grace action from DJ Slow and Throw. I'm gonna crank it up on the cell. Go ahead and crank it up there, P. Nice little intro to G2, G10 on a Lift Cyber 6K. Here we go. Go ahead and crank it one more volume. Awesome! Look at that! Awesome! Man, we're pulling more current than before too. We're louder this time. Look at that. That's so impressive. Okay, go ahead and turn it down, Pete. Wow, so I didn't realize, I think I had the bass knob just a little bit louder than before. We were pulling more current, pushing out more juice, and we were still much better off with our lithium. We weren't even seeing 11 volts, not even close. So you can see it's having a harder time rebounding because our alternator, you know, it's a stock alternator. If we had an upgraded one, it would be pumping out more juice right now into the battery. And since this charge is really fast, it would accept that charge no problem. I'm gonna hold the camera right here just for a little bit and see how long it takes to get back up to 13.8. This car charges right around 14 volts, so it's right at the cusp of that 13.8 margin. So let's go ahead and give it a little bit of RPMP and see if we can bring this back up, because we were definitely pumping some power into those subs. See, and there we are, back up to 13.8, and it'll slowly climb with this stock alternator. So in a worst case scenario, you probably could run this with a stock alternator, but you really don't know what you're missing, you know, with a high output alternator. So I always suggest that as one of the first upgrades for your system. So as this hits closer to 14 volts, let's go ahead and have one more little jam sesh. And just for the fun of it, I'm gonna switch our clamp meter over to our alternator charge wire. That way we can see how much is pumping into this battery from the front. So right now, she's only accepting 5.2 amps because we are right at almost 14 volts, 13.93 volts. So we're gonna go ahead and switch that back over to our amplifier lead, and I think I'll get into some of this old DJ JD screwed bass mix. We're definitely proving a good point here, even though we've got a slow recharge with that stock alternator, but just imagine a nice beefed up Hummer Jumba under the hood. So what do you say? I think that's our cue to head back to the garage and give you guys our final thoughts. Well, alrighty then, guys, the verdict is in. You saw it, the proof was in the pudding. What a great combination. Even for just the stock electrical system, the Cyber 6K coming in at the highest amperage of 191 amps at 12.54 volts. And before that, we weren't even able to reach that much at 126 amps at 11.75 volts. And the absolute lowest was 11.7 for the AGM, and the absolute lowest for the lithium was 12.46. This is with 0 RPMs. This is basically red light jamming status. With that one little battery, it sent us into definitely a safe range for daily pounding, and there's a really easy way to think about it. Let's go ahead and jump over to the editing station and give you guys a quick little illustration of how all this goes down. Picture it like this. Your battery is a cup of water and the alternator is a faucet just above it. When turned on, the faucet spills out water at a rate of 1 ounce per second. So if your cup is 10 ounces, how much can you pour out before it becomes empty? And how long would that take? Well, the answer isn't very much if you want to pour fast. Say you pour out 2 ounces per second. With a 10-ounce cup and a 1 ounce refill, it would only take 10 seconds to drain everything. And can you guess how much would be drained in total? The the answer would be 20, 10 from the faucet and 10 from the battery. But if you upgrade the faucet to say 2 ounces per second, now you're on an evil level playing field with the input and output, and your cup would never go empty. That's exactly the same goal for a daily car audio system, enough amperage coming in to handle the amperage going out. I hope those crude little animations did a decent enough job of illustrating the delicate game of give and take that is car audio, and Lithium isn't going anywhere. It definitely has a big place in my heart, and as you saw in this video, it outperformed 2 heavy AGMs, and if you can get over the price factor, that's pretty much the only stumbling block for a lot of people. And if you're wondering, I have to mention this, we disconnected the AGM under the hood with just a little bit of isolation material around the post. So right out of the gate, this small little 14-pound battery outdid like 80 or more pounds of batteries. I hope this video was helpful to you, so if it was, be sure to engage with the video, slap a good old thumbs up, and stay tuned for the craziness that is about to unfold. I have been doing some crazy stuff behind the scenes that you guys don't know about, so be sure to stay tuned to the channel. Let's just say some stuff that everybody wants to happen is about to freaking happen. So until the next video, this is EXO, all juiced up with my girlfriend's new ride. I will talk to you in the next one. Be safe, be loud, and be proud. This is EXO signing out.